Joint Canvassing Committee of the National Board of Canvassers has already canvassed 46 out of 173 COCs. Ang COCs, Certificate of Canvass, ito yung mga resulta mula sa mga probinsya, mga cities or lungsod, overseas absentee voting, and local absentee voting. So 46 out of 173, 26.59%. This is a record, okay? This never happened before. And we've had the canvassing going on for like 3.5 hours pa lang. Ngayon, if you look at the numbers, and I don't want to go through everything, no, because all the numbers are available on halalan2022.info, which is the Batasan Pambansa website, no, and the Joint Canvassing Committee website. But very, very quickly, no, just look at the numbers. Isabela, for example, which is Region 2, Cagayan Valley, this is where the D family is king, in a way. You have BBM with 763,000 plus votes. Lenny, only 82,000 votes. Region 3, Central Luzon, Tarlac, Nueva Vizcaya, and Zambales delivering for BBM. The overseas absentee voting, Singapore, 36,000 plus votes for BBM. Lenny, 12,283. Lenny, of course, leading in at least one Region 5 or Bicol province, which is Catanduanes. Lenny has 123,805 votes and BBM 31,454. Let's go all the way down to Mindanao. I'm just giving you glimpses, no, of all these numbers. Dinagat Islands, 46,898 for BBM and 10,690 for Lenny. What's significant here is that the governor is Chaka, who was allied with the LP, a former Akbayan member also. So you have these numbers in spite of the fact that the governor is Akbayan. Now, we can't go, like I said, we can't go through all the numbers, but those numbers are available on halalan2022.info. And that's something, it's interesting, Rico, I was saying earlier, that when you look at the numbers, the provinces, the cities, doon mo talaga makikita what it's like on the ground. Because, well, like we always say, all politics is local. I won't go any further than that, or else it will take an entire 10 minutes. Now, I've covered elections since 1992. No? So, pag national elections, 92, 98, 2004, 2010, 2016. No? And of course, yung elections previous to 2010, manual yon. No? So, elections 2010 onwards, automated. Ibang-iba talaga. Ibang-iba kapag automated. Wala masyadong objections. Kung meron man, konti lang. Wala masyadong sigawan, halimbawa, ngayong automated. Now, I bring this up because we're going to talk now about Romy Makalintal, or Romy Mac's manifestation. No? Number one, they will no longer interpose any objection to any of the COCs. And number two, that they're waiving their appearance already before the Joint Canvassing Committee. Napakalaking impact nito because then it paved the way for what's happening now. So things are picking up. Things picked up actually right after that. And of course, sinagot siya ni Vic Rodriguez. They appreciated yung sinasabi ni Romy Mac. Ngayon, sinasabi ko rin ito because this floored me, because like I said earlier, I covered all these elections and all the canvassing since 1998. So nakita ko yung difference eh. This floored me because this had never happened before, like I said, no? And malayong-malayo ito doon sa manual elections. Also, I also wanted to say na we were going to speak also to Mig Zubiri, but he's going to be joining us a little later on na lang in the show. Now, Mig Zubiri, of course, is chairing the 7-man Senate contingent for this joint canvassing committee. So, that's it, Rico, no? Smooth sailing, and we expect, like you were saying earlier, we do expect a proclamation by tomorrow. Although we're looking at the time, I'm sure a bulk of the COCs can be finished by midnight tonight.
Thank you so much, Pia. We will be back with you later on a news night when you speak to Senator Mig Zubiri with the ongoing process, a quick pace of this canvassing of votes. Pia Ontiveros there at the Batasang Pambansa. And we'll also have details with Amor Santos later on Newsnight. Let's now head to Tubaran Town in Lanao del Sur, where special elections were held earlier today. Authorities deployed over 1,000 police authorities and soldiers in the area to avoid another violent incident similar to what happened on May 9th. George Cahiles has his story.
This was election day in Tubaran, Lanao del Sur. Violent, chaotic. All officials declared a failure of elections in 12 barangays. 2 weeks later, authorities closely secured the special elections with over 1,000 police and military personnel deployed in the perimeter of polling centers. That's apart from the 60 police officers acting as members of the Board of Election Inspectors. The police reported sightings of armed groups in the area in the past days.
We have been monitoring all movements in the surroundings. Ang RSOTG ay nagsagawa ng checkpoint at meron din patrolling in the vicinities.
Maganda naman ang takbo and peaceful yung tatlong voting centers. Hopefully, 10 o'clock in the evening, matapos na ito lahat, may akyat na sa Provincial Board of Canvassers ang lahat ng results coming from the municipality of Tubaran.
Elections in Lanao del Sur have been marred often by violence and intimidation. Observers say even terrorist group Daula Islamia or the Maute Group posed a threat during the May 9 polls.
They used the past 8 months during the electoral campaign to consolidate. There have been numerous sightings, even the military, even in media reports about training, recruitment happening.
The military says violence could have been worse if it failed to neutralize Maute members in Maging Lanao del Sur in March. Based on intelligence information, some politicians were supposed to use Maute members during the election period.
When we got that information early on this year, January, February, hinanap namin sila and we were fortunate to find them out. And nga, nakita namin na doon sila sa Maging. Nag-armas sila eh.
The military says Maute still recruits young members, even minors. As a group under Abu Zakaria remains a threat to the province, Maute cannot launch an attack similar to the Marawi siege in 2017. Even so, the military says it is preventing the group from conducting terrorist acts in Lanao del Sur. George Cahiles, CNN Philippines.
A 2-week waiting game for partyless groups may soon be over as COMELEC looks to formally award 63 congressional seats by Thursday. The poll body is counting on the special polls in Tubaran Town and the transmission of over 680,000 votes to the province of Lanao del Sur in the next 2 days to finalize the rankings.
Tignan natin yung pagkakadikit-dikit nila. Kung yung natitirang boto sa Shanghai hindi na makakaapekto, we will be able to proclaim the 63 seats. Pero kung makakaapekto, we let the National Board decide on whether there will be partial or we suspend the other parts po ganyan.
COMELEC expects to receive the Lanao del Sur votes electronically by Wednesday morning, which will then be canvassed at 3 p.m. and included in the official tally. Well, now on your screens are the groups ahead of the race for party lists. 6 out of the 177 organizations have clearly secured the required 2% share of votes cast for the party list race based on COMELEC's partial official tally last week. And among them are the anti-crime group ACT CIS, led by nominees Eric Yap and Jocelyn Tulfo, wife of Senator-elect Rafi Tulfo. COMELEC says the group may get the maximum of 3 seats in the 19th Congress. Technical preparations are underway at the PICC Forum tent in Pasay in anticipation of the proclamation. 2 officials per party list may attend the ceremony. In other news, authorities are figuring out the cause of the fire in Quezon province that killed 7 people at sea on Monday. Paige Javier reports the passenger vessel faces the risk of losing its franchise as survivors appeal for help.
27-year-old Jessa Malate did not let her fear overcome her faith. She was one of the 126 passengers aboard MV Mercraft 2 that caught fire in Rizal, Quezon on Monday. Jessa is not new to facing life's challenges. For 15 years, she has battled ovarian cancer, now reaching stage 4.
San Miguel
But she did
Corporation.
not expect that a boat
Bisag
ride on
unsang
the way to her
industriya ang
chemotherapy
sudlan
session
niini,
would lead to
tinguha sa
another
SMC
problem.
ang pag-uswag o paglambo sa mga Pilipino. Karon, gikan sa SMC, aniya na ang SMC Davao Cement. SMC Davao Cement. Gama sa Davao para sa Mindanao. SMC Davao Cement. Ato ni Bay
including her
SMC,
money for therapy
San
and
Miguel
medicines.
Corporation.
Jessa is
Bisag
now
unsang
asking for
industriya
help.
ang sudlan niini,
Marami
tinguha
po
sa
ang
SMC ang pag-uswag o paglambo sa mga Pilipino. Karon, gikan sa SMC, aniya na ang SMC Davao Cement. SMC Davao Cement. Gama sa Davao, para sa Mindanao. SMC Davao Cement. Ato ni Bay.
RPN DXKT
The mayor of Polillo
1071
Island wants to
sa
ban
dial
Murcraft
sa
from
inyong
their
mga
waters.
radyo.
Murcraft meanwhile said it is ready to face an investigation and is willing to assist the rescued passengers in surviving families.
Humihingi po ulit kami ng malawak na kauna. Maging ang lahat ng taga-Polillo po at lahat ng pasahero namin. Sana dumating lang yung panahon at time na kami ay inyo nang napatawad. Wala pong may kagustuhan nito.
The local Coast Guard has spoken to the boat captain, some crew members and passengers to find out the cause of the fire.
Tingnan natin kung talaga kung saan nagmula at ano pa ang dapat nating magiging recommendation o na hindi na natin dapat mangyari muli ang trahedya.
Marina is expected to begin its parallel probe tomorrow. If it finds proof of violations, Murcraft may be stripped of its franchise. Authorities hope to finish the investigation within 1 week. In Real, Quezon, Paige Javier, CNN Philippines.
And when we come back on Newsnight, correspondent Amor Santos takes us back to the Batasan Pambansa in Quezon City, where lawmakers are canvassing the Filipino votes for President and Vice President. And in our health coverage, we'll tell you everything you need to know about a rare disease that has been spreading through many countries. Keep it right here on CNN Philippines. News you can trust. Welcome back to Newsnight on CNN Philippines. I'm Rico Hizon. We're still keeping a close watch on the canvassing of votes at the House of Representatives. The camp of presumptive President Bongbong Marcos welcomes the move of Vice President Leni Robredo's team to raise no objections to all certificates of canvass. Amor Santos joins us now live from the Batasan Pambansa complex in Quezon City. Amor, thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight. What are Marcos's next moves now? Could he be proclaimed President-elect tomorrow?
Well, Rico, by this time tomorrow, Bongbong Marcos may have been proclaimed President-elect, and his spokesperson, Attorney Vic Rodriguez, assures Marcos will be here at the House of Representatives to attend his proclamation. Rodriguez calls it a quote-unquote good surprise that Vice President Leni Robredo's camp raised no objections to all certificates of canvass and even waived their appearance before the Congressional Canvassing Committee. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno's lawyer also did not raise any objection from their side. Because of these, Canvassing Committee Chair Co-Chairman Mig Zubiri sees the canvassing of votes for President and Vice President to be over by early afternoon tomorrow. Zubiri says it marks the start of the nation's healing after what he calls an emotionally charged election. Rodriguez says these are consistent with the Marcoses' call for unity. Notably, he called Robredo Vice President despite the electoral protest filed by Marcos against her victory in 2016.
We thank them, not just Vice President Leni Robredo, but even Mayor Isko Moreno for recognizing, again, the integrity of the election and the electoral process, for recognizing the vibrancy of our democracy as exhibited last May 9 election, and for recognizing a clear win and the overwhelming mandate given by the Filipino people to President-elect Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr.
On the part of Marcos's running mate, Mayor Sara Duterte, her lawyer Beng Sardillo says the Duterte camp is still coordinating for her expected proclamation as Vice President-elect. Meanwhile, both Senate President Tito Soto and Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon say they see no problem with Marcos' sister, Senator Amy Marcos's inclusion in the canvassing committee.
What can a relative do? Hindi naman humahawak ng ano yun. Hindi naman humahawak ng COC yun, basta-basta, o hindi naman yung tagabasa, kundi kasama rin sa committee na ino-observe yung bilangan, yung pagbilang.
Drilon says he believes there's no stopping the canvassing and proclamation, adding that petitioners can later bring their issues against Marcos with the Presidential Electoral Tribunal composed of Supreme Court justices. Back to you, Rico.
Amor, where is Bongbong Marcos now, and how is he preparing for the proclamation?
Well, Rico Rodriguez says Marcos will be ready anytime tomorrow for the proclamation. They're seeing it happening at around 4 to 6 p.m. And right now, or early this afternoon during the press conference, Rodriguez said Marcos was in their headquarters in Mandaluyong. He said they initially planned to focus on the canvassing of votes today until Thursday. But because of the latest development, closest rival, Vice President Leni Robredo, throwing in the towel, Rodriguez said Marcos will be back to work, working on forming his cabinet. Marcos is also scheduled to meet with 2 to 3 personalities today for their possible appointment as cabinet secretaries. And the Marcos camp is expected to announce more nominees by Friday. Rico?
Amor Santos, thank you so much for that update. Reporting live from the Batasang Pambansa. Joining us again now is Chief Correspondent and Anchor Pio Ontiveros, who is now with the Canvassing Committee Co-Chairman, Senator Migs Zubiri. Pia, over to you.
Thank you, Rico. So you've already introduced him. Hi, Migs. Thank you very much for Senator Migs Zubiri. Thank you for being with us on Newsnight. So let's first talk about the update. Kanina kasi at 6 o'clock, I was saying it's 26.59%, almost 27% now. 46 out of 173 COCs canvassed. What is it now?
We're about 30% now. We've canvassed about 52 COCs going to the 53rd COC. We started about 2:30 this afternoon, so we're moving very fast, very well. We'll stay probably till 11 or even up to midnight and try to finish about 100 COCs. And we'll continue tomorrow for the remaining COCs. We're looking at wrapping this up by maybe 1 o'clock and pause for about an hour or two for the report, the joint canvass report, which we'll submit to the joint session of Congress, both the House and the Senate. That'll be around maybe 3 o'clock. So we're looking at the proclamation at around maximum 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
4 o'clock or prime time?
Well, yeah. But the way it was going, we were initially thinking it would be up to 6 to 7 o'clock. But the way it's going, it might be done by 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. You know, kanina, I was saying that I think one of the reasons kung bakit things are smooth sailing, going very smoothly, is because of what Ronnie Mac said earlier today. And you had a reaction to that.
Yes, we all actually had a very happy, surprised reaction to that. you know what makes canvassing very difficult. And napapatagal talaga ng canvassing ng votes for President and Vice President, yung continuous objections ng mga iba't ibang abogado ng iba't ibang kandidato. So, malaking gulat namin kanina na the legal counsel of Vice President Leni Robredo, Attorney Macalental, together with the counsel of Mayor Isko Moreno, which is Ma'am Attorney Rizalina Lumbera, had mentioned that there will have a motion of a continuing motion of no objection to allow us to canvass each and every COC without question. As long as, of course, we do our job also to make sure that walang discrepancies, we have to make sure na yung electronically transmitted at yung manually transmitted sa amin ay both magkatugma and they're matched. We have no problem. So we thank them for their graciousness. We'd like to thank Attorney Mac and, of course, Attorney Lumbera for their graciousness, the two candidates for their graciousness. I think it's now time to heal. It's now time to unite. It's time to move forward. I really thank them for that, as I said, graciousness and patriotism, wanting us to move forward from the very divisive, very emotional election of last May 9, 2022.
Right, okay. Well, before we move forward, let's look a little backward, just a bit, because I've covered elections since 92 with mga canvassing, 98, 2004, etc., etc. And nakita naman natin yung difference yung pag-manual and then pag-automated at lalo na ngayon. There are a lot of young people watching. So, explain a bit.
I've had an experience of going through national elections, which is manually counted, which is 207, and that's a very messy affair. And iba na yun, yung automated elections na yun ay napakabilis. Alam mo, hindi katulad dati, manual elections, nung pagbilangan sa presinto, di ba? Anything can happen. They can change the COCs once it's transported to the municipal level, the ERs. They can do all the erasures, the snowpicks, all the changes. And by the time it reaches the national level, it's a completely different number, totally, in the provinces.
So many through
the decades. Right now, after so many protests that we've seen using automated elections, it's mostly 99% accurate. 99% accurate. Even in the recounts, it's 99% accurate. The beauty of it is the least amount of human touch, ika nga. It's the machine that counts, the machine that transmits, and it is also much easier for us and much quicker. If you notice, during the automated elections, ladies and gentlemen, within a matter of days, alam mo na kung sino yung Senate Magic 12. Alam niyo na rin yung President and Vice President. You will already know the trends. And I think that's part, again, that's also a good part of moving forward after the elections. Because I remember when it used to be manual elections, the counting can take even weeks, and sometimes months, and you have both opposing camps or how many camps that are out there trying to vie for the presidency and vice presidency, fighting each other in the streets. Very divisive, very emotional, very mentally draining. So I think it's a very good step forward. Automated elections is a very good step forward, and I'm glad that the youth today have participated. I've noticed we've one of the highest electoral turnout, 83%. A large, I think, double the amount of young voters from the last elections of 2019. That's a first step, a good step forward.
But is there something that Congress, the Senate and the House would like to look into when it comes, for example, to the vote counting machines? Are we going to change things up a bit? Because people say, baka meron tayong konting problema.
Well, I think there may na konting aberya, but I guess like any hardware, whether it's your own computer, your laptop, or your cell phone, where my messages disappear every 20 minutes, it happens. It happens. So I think maybe we can look at other suppliers. We can do that in the next 2025 national elections. We can actually look for possible election VCMs, these what you call the counting machines, of course the electronic counting machines. But as of now, it's Smartmatic who's the lead in all over the world. But there could be other available technology. You know, with technology, it changes every day.
Right.
So we in the Senate are open, especially the Committee on Electoral Reform, to looking at other technologies. In some countries, you have actually the face of the, it's like an ATM machine. You have the face of the candidate, and then pipindutin mo lang, and then you get the receipt. Yeah, you get the receipt. Basically, in the end, makikita mo din kung mali o tama yung... Wala na shading. Oo, I've experienced that sa election namin ng Red Cross. We use that type of machine. Yun nga lang, it takes a lot of machines. Kasi medyo maraming tao. But there's a lot of technology out there. We should be open to using newer technology.
That's good to hear. Okay, I'm going to ask you for your final words. At the same time, address this issue na, well, kanina, para bang, nag-relax lahat nung nagsalita nga si Romy Mac, no? And you yourself and the other members of the Joint Canvassing Committee look relaxed, you're not tensed up, no? So,
yes, actually, we all applauded the action of the two legal counsels of the two contenders for second and fourth place, if I'm not mistaken. But what is important, I think, is being able to accept the results of the elections, whichever side you're on. That's the democracy. We live in a democracy. We're not in a autocratic rule in other countries, and I won't mention which countries, but lest that the ambassador will call me tomorrow, but or tonight. We're one of the largest democracies in Southeast Asia. We're very proud of it. We directly elect the president and vice president. It's not through a parliamentary system or a party system. And I think we should be proud of our democracy, and we should be proud on how quick we were able to count the votes through the quick election counts that we've had with the different news agencies and together with the PPCRV. And I think we should stick to that. Remember, whoever side you're on, we should celebrate now our democracy. We should celebrate now our institutions and our processes. I think that's what we should be celebrating, and we should unite as a people and move away already from the very divisive elections that we've had and start building the economy. That's what we need to do after the pandemic.
Thank you so much. Mig Zubiri, a newly re-elected senator. Congratulations, by the way. Number 8, no?
Yes,
Number 8. And we're looking forward to what's going to happen in 19th Congress. Maraming salamat sa iyo, Senator Mig Zubiri. Let's go back over to Rico. Rico.
Thank you so much, Pia Tiveros, there with Senator Mig Zubiri, live from the Batasang Pambansa in Quezon City. And we have more news after the break. Keep it right here on Newsnight on CNN Philippines. News you can trust.
RPN DXKT 1071 sa dial sa inyong mga radyo.